Hey YouTube, it's JP Dillon. Welcome to part 2 of the 1960s JVC Delmonico AW-6000. In the previous video, we kind of did an assessment and saw all the crazy stuff that this radio is filled with. The lackluster performance, no FM, this craftily made amplifier, which looks like they completely went around the stock amplifier in here. So today we're going to take a look at the schematic diagram and figure out how to wire this back up so that the original amplifier is working, and then troubleshoot why it was disconnected. And I know I've been gone for a while, but more about that later. I'll probably do a separate video on that so you can understand where I was, what I was doing, and things to come for the future so you can have a better understanding. But anyways, let's take a look at the schematic and see how this amplifier is put together and see what they've done here, because obviously we have what looks like an orange and a brown wire here. We've got a black and white wire here, and then we've got this stuff here, one to ground and one to this point. And you have to remember also that this all ties in with this socket back here, which then connects to the front part of the radio. So there's stuff with this socket that we have to take a look at, and I think the schematic shows that. What we want to hope is that there isn't some sort of scary failure of like an interstage transformer like this guy. Although it's nice that they tell you what it is. If it'll focus here, it says 1.2 kilo ohm primary and 1.7 kilo ohm center tap. So yeah, anyways, let's look at the schematic. Alright, so as we can see from this thing, this is a really simple amplifier. They have two output transformers, looks like. They've got an interstage one between the Class A and the output stage. And that's going to be your center tapped goodie there that we saw earlier, I think. And then you have a second one at the output, which goes between the output transistors and the speaker, which appears to be connected between pins 2 and 3 on that connector. And it's a 4x6 speaker at 3.2 ohms, blah, blah, blah. So the basic things to check most importantly are the two transformers. We have to ohm those out, because if the transformers are shot, it's going to be hard to replace those. And I'm not sure if the owner of this thing really wants to go crazy on it. Be cool if we can get it working, but if it ends up being a shelf queen, it ends up being a shelf queen. It is very pretty looking. And then let's see, you've got the thermistor there that controls the bias. That's on the center tap of the secondary of that driver transformer there. So the reasons why they would have gone to this little chip thing could be because of an open transformer, could be because of defective transistors or something in the circuit that really just made them scared and put this little board together, although the little amplifier board looks like it would have taken more time than to troubleshoot this thing. So let's do some checks. So the first troubling thing that I see here is we have one transformer back here, which I assume is our interstage driver transformer, but we don't have an output transformer, which, based on what I see here, I know the camera's being really stupid and wonky. Let's see if we can make it focus a little better. This camera's on its way out. That's another thing I need to replace. But anyways, it looks like there was a footprint here of a transformer of some kind, because there's a big solder mark here. So unless it's hiding somewhere back here, there's supposed to be two transformers according to this schematic, but I only see one. Let's see if they say what the characteristics are. Yeah, and there's no characteristics for this, which is unfortunate, because I'd love to know what the DC resistances on that are. And they're taking a feedback line from the secondary there for the positive of the speaker through a 0.01 and, or actually no, it's just through a 500 picofarad and 47K controller. That's probably for your audio gain there. Way back to the Class A amp to control gain. But that's not good. That transformer is gone. And it also appears that someone was doing a whole hell of a lot of soldering here on these output transistors. So I'm going to assume that the reason why this is absent is because the transformer failed, and he took it out and he made this little amplifier board here. Which works off LM386, which I think is like a 1/4 watt thing. And this was at least a 1.5 watt amplifier. So I'm not sure what to do about this one. I think realistically, if we're going to proceed further with this, we would need to do a full retrofit, really. All this original amplifier would have to come out, because I want to do it right, because this barely made any sound as it was. I mean, it just, you could turn it up all the way and it would just distort, it wouldn't get loud. And this radio should be capable of getting very loud, because you had your Class A here, and then it goes into the transformer, and then the transformer leads come over here. And then we've got an output transistor over there. And again, where's the Class A device too? That's missing too. It's like somebody just hacked a bunch of parts out. Oh, there's the second transistor down there. It's almost impossible to see. This camera's just so buggered. I had a backup, like a cell phone camera I was going to use, but then I discovered that the battery had turned into pillowy goodness, so I couldn't use that. But anyways, this one might have to get, there has to be a choice made. We either have to start over with an amplifier and probably use something like a TDA device, which is all-inclusive, and just mount it on a little heatsink back here with an output capacitor for the speaker. And then there's still going to be the issues of the RF and whatever else is going on in here. So, yeah, this is kind of a basket case. Really pretty looking. And somebody made an effort here to put this together, but you should at least have 1.5 watts, maybe 2 watts of power so that you can crank it. Because we hardly got any volume out of it, even on a strong station, and that just doesn't work. If you want to listen to shortwave or something very distant, you got to have some amplification. But yeah, that's where we're at with that. Too bad. See if I'm just missing something here. And that driver transformer's just hiding somewhere. Oh, this electrician's tape and stuff wrapped up here. Yikes. Yeah, it's not hiding anywhere. It was removed. So I have to confer with the owner and see how far he wants to go with this thing. And if not, then it will just get buttoned back up and it will become a shelf queen. So anyways, yeah, that's where we're at with that. Alright, YouTube, it's JP Dillon, and we're going to do a little quick repair video while I'm telling you why I've been gone so long. And everybody's kind of been really concerned and worried. By the way, this is a Sharp 13N-M100B. And it's just in for a tune-up. So, long and short of it is, there's been a number of factors, the reason why I have not been present on my channel. I've had a project car sitting for about 5 years that belongs to my wife. It was the car that she originally bought in high school. It was her first car. And it has gone through many iterations. The reason why we both met is we were both car people. We met at a car show, and I learned that she built engines, and she built a couple of engines for this car. She likes to race it. But due to an oil pump problem and problem with a faulty carburetor dumping fuel down the bores, it washed out the oil and pretty much killed the motor. So the car sat for a while she earned enough money to be able to fix it. So she saved up a lot of money, and then we had to debate whether we were going to rebuild the original engine or whether we were just going to say screw it and do a crate motor. Well, we decided to go with the crate motor because there wasn't anybody in town that was trustworthy as a machine shop. And so thus began the task of acquiring the crate motor. We got a Blueprint Engines crate motor. So it's got a lot of dust in it. And they said it initially was a Mopar 360. It was not specified that it was a Magnum 360 block, which differs from an LA block. It bolts up to the transmission in the same way. It's the same bell housing pattern. The Magnum block has nubbins on the side for different mounting arrangements, like in motorhomes and stuff, so it didn't quite fit the way we wanted to with our headers. So we had to remove some metal from the block. And then there was the task of getting the engine in. And although people say, oh, a 360 is a 360, well, it really wasn't, because when we got the motor in, we discovered that the clearance between the radiator and the water pump had been decreased by about 1.5 inches. Yeah, so that was fun. So we finally got a fan and a radiator solution that kind of worked, and then did tuning and ignition and found that the distributor was messed up. It was supposed to be ready to run, but it really wasn't. And it was just 2 months straight of towing with that car. I'm taking a look underneath here, and I see that a couple of connections here on the board are touchy. They were complaining that it was intermittently shutting off. That definitely would have. It's a big power resistor. If that lost connection, it definitely would have created an issue. Do some resoldering there. So anyways, 2 months goes by. We finally get the car drivable, put some miles on it. And my wife had a back injury from last year, which we thought was getting better, but really wasn't. And so she's becoming further and further disabled, which complicates things with her job because she's a sped teacher and she loves doing that kind of work, but her back is basically saying no. So we're exploring options to see if that's, going to get better, or if surgery is going to be required, or if she's just pretty much done with that profession. We really don't know, and that's kind of been an up in the air thing. And then the economy has been absolutely terrible. And we really haven't been taking in the work that we used to take in. And so here at the shop, there's much less work, and we're making a lot less money. And for a time, between about maybe late June and early July, we just had nothing coming in. And one of our quarters was so awful, we were just literally living off money that we had saved and put aside. So not good. And that hurt us really bad. Our financial situation has not improved. And it may be that if it doesn't improve in the next year or so, we'll have to close the store because it just won't be financially feasible to keep it open, which sucks because I've done this a long, long time, and it pains me to have to think about doing something else or going back to something I used to do, like appliance repair or HVAC or something like that, because I've done all that work too. But this is enjoyable work, at least for me it is. And so I've been doing a lot more side hustles. I've been doing a lot more catching up on side repairs because I do have a giant backlog of side repairs that I do. And for those of you whom I put on the wait list and I promised a certain time, I apologize for not getting to that at this point, but life has gotten in the way. And so it's the 9 to 5 isn't paying for my needs anymore, so I'm having to do a lot of side work. And I don't know if you know this, but for the most part, YouTube doesn't pay very well. Let's see if I can get this back in its track here without destroying it. There we go. YouTube does not pay very well. Even with the 25,000 subscribers I have, oh, and thank you very much for that, it doesn't pay very much. When I was doing a video a week with my subscriber base, I still, on the best month that I ever had, I made $400. And the amount of time that it takes to go through and edit a video and put it together and all that was basically meaning that I was making about $18 to $20 an hour. Now that's not bad money, but it's certainly, if I could do a little more, side jobs here and there, I would well make up for that. So it turned out it was better just to do the side jobs. Let's turn this thing on and see what it's doing now. So it's just been a question of whether I really need to keep going. We definitely have a need for a degaussing. Let's see what the menu looks like on this one. Because I really need to generate more work here. It's picked up a little bit, but like I said, nothing is certain anymore. Let me get a pattern generator. Let's go for, oh, yuck. I don't know if you can see that, but the convergence on this is awful. Ugh. Yeah, it's hard to tell. The camera really doesn't show it all that well. Like if I get up on it, you still really can't tell. But anyways, the red's all over. Maybe that's why they were complaining the picture was so blurry. Let's see, that's the horizontal. Yeah, I hate doing these inline tubes. They're just not very fun. That's making it worse. Alright, so we got the vertical red problem fixed. Wow, this thing just sucks. Alright, that's about as good as she's gonna get. Oh, it's better. Well, anyways. So yeah, I've been very occupied in my life. I thank you for the concern and that I am alive and doing well. It's just I'm kind of overworked, tired, but you just got to keep on going, You can't just stop because you feel wore out. You have to keep going. Well, that's an interesting one. I wonder if the batteries in this are getting a little tired. Let's see if I go to a... Yeah, the fact that I got zinc loss and stuff here, I'm betting the batteries are a little tired, so we may have to change those too. Convergence looks good though. Let's see if we can touch up the focus just a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Maybe we'll switch to some live TV. And hopefully don't get popped for a infamous copyright. Bear with me a second. Somewhere here I have a dedicated AV input. And it's nice that this TV has this. Makes it a lot simpler, that's for sure. Alright, so yep, gotta push that in there. God, he's got the contrast just cranked on this thing. Video adjust. And of course, it's going to go back to video adjust. Yep, that's just maxed out. That's a lot better right there. We needed to Degauss this thing. The grayscale doesn't look too bad though. Let's see, the way I'm going to set brightness on this one is by going to a blank spot. That's still really bright. Let's turn up the sub brightness back here. There we go. That's about right. Still need way too much, or need to turn down the contrast. That's a little better. Brightness sells on these things, so that's usually the reason why people will do that. Let's change out to something that has color. And let me go get the degaussing coil. We definitely need to degauss the screen. It looks pretty yucky. Hold on. Alright, so let's energize this. And we'll just slowly back away. Alright. So that's looking a little better. At least there's no scary color distortion. The actual color intensity on this isn't very good. There we go again. Yeah, without the remote, this thing is like really hard to adjust. Yeah, I've just, wow. It's just like saturated. It seems like it's a little bit washed out. I wonder if it's a video loading issue and that's why it looks washed out, but that looks crappy. Yeah, even with the contrast at near minimum, the CRT is bright. So, I mean, I guess that's good since it's, you know, bright. Low hours. Like, okay. So, like, her solids look good. The facial flesh tones look just kind of washed out. Alright, so this looks tilted too. Let's go back to our... Is it tilted? Let's straighten the camera out here. This looks tilted to me. Yeah. Like it's tilted. Okay. Yeah, something was off. So yeah, it's just lots of little side jobs like this. Let's see if I can do this without blasting myself. Still needs to be corrected a bit. I mean, that's better. I can go with that. That's a little overcorrected. That's better. Okay. Let's tighten this down. Okay. Now we can go back to our input there. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't look very good. I guess I'm just used to better TVs. I guess this is just kind of an entry-level one. Looks washed out to me. Yeah, we're going to blank out. I know. So, I mean, the only thing this thing has going for it that's really good is that the CRT is in good shape. It's obviously very bright. But as far as video processing and stuff, this is just kind of an entry-level set. There's nothing that's, like, really fancy about it. So, I guess this one's good. I could go more on it, but I need to access the service menu with the remote, and they don't have the remote, so. Okay, so hopefully that gave you some insight as to what's been going on with me. Sorry that it was just kind of a disappearance per se, but family always comes first, and other things in my life that were financially important had to come first. So anyways, there will be more videos in the future. I cannot promise if they will be timely or prompt. It's just basically as I have time, because YouTube does not pay enough for me to do this on a regular basis. I've already gotten into an argument with Patreon because they felt this, my channel wasn't unique enough and that there was too much of this type of content, which I think is silly nonsense. So I'm going to reevaluate that and other stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being there. Thanks for being supportive. And I will make more videos as I'm able to, as I have the time. But right now, it's just not seemingly possible to have things regularly. And I appreciate your patience while things get sorted out. So anyways, hope you all have a great day.